Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Ask Alice Anything. In this episode, I'm going to interview a bunch of folks and explain to them what GIS is to their moms. Because time and time again, I find that GIS professionals have a hard time explaining what is it that they do to their family and friends, especially their moms. So here's my compilation of everybody's responses. Enjoy, have fun, and hopefully you learn something.
I tell my mom, think of it like a map on steroids. Think of how the city of Toronto uses it. Our sewer systems in the city need to be mapped out and laid out to manage in terms of troubleshooting, just understanding where they're laid out, and things like even potholes. Like, how do we know where the potholes are? How does the city respond to it? And then to her, she understands, like, okay, we have a huge map that everything is pretty much laid out on.
Well, she actually knows what GIS is. I was actually pretty shocked she threw me the Chinese terminology of GIS, and her definition is essentially a point on a map. That's what I do. Well, she's not wrong, but to elaborate on that, GIS is a point on a map and the relationship of that point to another point on a map or a polygon or a line, and it is basically understanding that relationship spatially.
I tell her it's computer-based mapping.
Okay. And does she understand what that is? Or
Well, actually, she's just happy I have a job.
When I talk to my mom about what I do, I usually talk about how most data or information has some kind of geospatial component to it or a location related to it. And when you take that data and you put it on a map and add additional layers, you really start to paint a picture about different things that you wouldn't normally see if you were just looking at that data in a text file or a spreadsheet. And so now, with the addition of voice technology connected to GIS data, we really start to understand that we can communicate with that GIS data a little bit differently and get information back into a more conversational way. So that's what we're trying to do with Query, is help bring GIS type data that supports service delivery to residents to help them get information that they need more efficiently.
My name is Matt, and I started a new company called Query. And what we do is we connect municipal open data that typically has a geospatial component or location attached to it, and we connect it to smart home speakers so that residents can engage with their local governments, asking them questions about services related to where they live or the neighborhood that they live in.
I would say it in a very simple fashion, just because she's a very non-savvy tech user. She's just beginning to understand how it works. So I would say it's just using location and getting information to solve specific problems to gain insight.
Despite me trying to tell my mom and explain to her what I do, I keep it simple now, and I just tell her I make maps on a computer, and I teach students how to do the same.
Hey there, Mama. Let me tell you what GIS is. So everything in the world has a place. Some of those things you can see, and some of those things you can't see. But because everything has a place, everything can be put on a map. So let's take a look at an example of things we can see. So let's say we go to a park. Well, our park has a bunch of trees, and each tree can be a dot on our map. Let's say our park also has a playground in it. Well, that playground boundary can be put on our map. And then finally, let's say we have a bunch of trails going through our park. Well, each trail can be a line on our map. Now let's take a look at things we can't see. So you can't see my income, you can't see my preferences, like what I like to buy, where I like to go, or how I like to get there. But because all of these things are associated with me, and I am associated with where I live, I can be put on my map along with all those things. So all these things in one area is what really defines that area. And GIS shows you the things you can see and the things you can't see and lets you know how they work together. And then it takes it a step further by showing you how they can work even better together and gives you that solution. And GIS can be used anywhere, at any time, with any industry, really. And that's really the beauty of GIS.
So, hey Alice. Hey Alice.
Hi.
What about you? How do you explain it to your mom what GIS is?
Well, because of the recent coronavirus, I usually bring up that dashboard to show her how many cases, that's to confirm how many deaths based on the location, and you can zoom in on the location, on the cities and the territories that she concerns about, because she has a lot of family in China. So this dashboard has really helped me explain what GIS to her. Hi, Athena.
Hello, Mama.
So how do you explain GIS to your mom?
But is this another episode of Ask Alice Anything?
Yes.
I want to call it the question and the answer.
But how do you explain GIS to your mom?
I explain it like a pretty picture map. A pretty picture search and find map.
A pretty picture search and find map?
Yeah.
That's GIS?
Yeah.
Your mom.
Oops, I totally recorded that while you're talking.
Happy Mother's Day to all the moms of
Happy
GIS
Mother's Day.
professionals.